Robert, we all feel bad for that man, and obviously it's a heartfelt testimonial, but do you think that's an appropriate injection in this campaign of basically making the accusation that Governor Romney caused that woman's death?
Look, Mark, I think, as you said, this is an ad by an entity that's not controlled by the campaign. I certainly don't know the specifics of this man's case. I do think there is a lot of concern in the country about what happens when people lose their jobs. We know that when they lose their jobs, because most of where people get their health care provided for is in their job, they tend to also lose their health care. That people become one bad illness or sickness away from losing their house, from losing their life savings, from losing their ability to send their children to college, and it's a huge fear and anxiety for families all over the country.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Robert, with love and all due respect.
He loves you.
Oh, God.
But talking like a Southern politician,
but that was a...
Wow. Next time I'm bringing my own group of people to say how much I love you guys.
But let's be honest, that was a very long way of avoiding answering the question. I mean, that was a...
Well, Sam, I don't know the specifics.
I understand that the super PAC...
I love you, but I can't.
The super PAC has no correlation.
It's Bill Burr.
It's
Bill Burr. Come on.
Let's establish legally that there's just no correlation.
No correlation.
However,
but it's Bill Burr.
However, the message is a little bit over the top. Can't you admit that?
Again, I don't know the specifics of this person's case. I know there's huge anxiety in this country about losing health care. I know there's huge anxiety in this country about how people pay for college. Again, I don't know the specifics. I do know this. Hold on. I do know this, that you have a pattern of companies that were bought by Bain,
right,
that were loaded up with debt, heavily leveraged. Bain got paid. Bain always got paid. Bain got paid hundreds of millions of dollars in many instances, and these companies went bankrupt. And when a company goes bankrupt like that, somebody gives you a piece of paper that says you've lost your job, you've lost your health care, you've lost your retirement.
Sam,
do I think that's any way to build on the economy?
She got another job and had health care from another job.
So she lost his job and she was getting health care through his coverage, but she also had health care through her other employer, which followed after him, which was there.
So she still had health care.
She still had health care, and then, of course, her death occurred in 2006. We'll never get you to condemn the ad.
Again, I don't know the specifics.
Robert, what specifics would you like to know before you can pass judgment on whether that's appropriate? Ask away.
I don't know the instances of what her health care covered. I don't know whether her insurance company approved every treatment. I don't know any of the dealings with the insurance company.
Can I just make one point? I don't like you very much, so we'll make it.
Does that make you feel better?
So we'll make you feel better.
You're the first person that's been honest.
You should ask a nice question now.
Okay. To your point, Robert, I think, which is a fair point. You don't know the specifics, but that ad, when it is shown in my living room in the middle of the country at 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know the specifics either. And I'm watching the ad, and I have a visceral reaction to the ad. So, and I think to Sam's point and to Mark's point, you have a visceral reaction to this ad. Is it or is it not below the belt?
So 2 points. One, you said you're watching an ad at 2 a.m. in the morning, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Two, that
in the swing state of
that
Maryland.
ad's not going to air. I think Mark is right. I mean, he's been trying to track down where they're actually buying it. This was a creation for the cable news circuit.
Well, regardless of what this is a creation for,
I just want to point out that
we're talking about the ad. We're trying to get a reaction from Robert on the ad, and he avoided answering the question. So the point is,
it's not an Obama.
It's not an Obama ad. But let's do this as everyone here dusts off their white horse and gets their footmen ready to put them up on their white horse. Let's go through an ad that we know the Romney campaign is entirely responsible for, right? There's a new ad out that if you're watching at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, you would believe that Barack Obama has actually taken away the work requirement for welfare reform. Do you think that's a factual ad? Do you think that's a true ad? Because let me just preface this by saying there is not an independent person that has looked at that ad. Not one person that's looked at that ad and said it's remotely substantially true.
And I will give you that whether it's true or not true. But the difference between the Romney ad and the ad that we're talking about from the Obama not supported PAC, directly or whatever, is that it goes to a different level. It's a different kind of conversation when you're talking about when you're talking truth. Well, no. But it's not a question. It's not a question of truth. It's a question of whether or not what you're saying here. No, what you're saying in the Obama ad is that Mitt Romney was somehow responsible for the death of a human being, as opposed to whether or not in his ad Obama's policy does what it says or doesn't.
I'm just trying to get. I just want to make sure.
There's a difference between
there are gradations of truth.
But there's a difference. There's a difference when you're talking about truth in the context of my killing your wife or my killing your policy.
What rises up to erasing the work requirement, the welfare reform law?
What's that?
I should have to explain this. Seriously, are you really making me explain the difference between a policy debate and a question that suggests that a candidate for president of the United States killed his wife?
Wait a minute.
Are you serious?
For somebody
are you making me do this?
This is an ad that's showing during the Olympics. Sam just said, he can't actually find somebody who's bought the ad.
It's not even an Obama campaign ad. It's a simple ad.
It's not an Obama ad.
And I brought up Bill Burton's name. Everybody.
But hold on, Joe. Can I just get you on the record?
Bill could not be any tighter to you and the White House.
Can I just get you on the record then that you're perfectly fine with an ad that even Republican governors
I'm not perfectly fine.
Say is untrue?
Listen,
I just want to.
I'm not standing here defending an ad. You are, or at least you're saying you're playing Pontius Pilate, saying my hands are clean. I have nothing. I can do nothing on this ad that suggests that Mitt Romney killed my wife.
I love that you seem to be adding to the discourse in our political debate by labeling me Pontius Pilate.
Why shake your hands?
Well,
I'm not accusing you of killing anybody.
Well, Beelzebub, I think that it is. I think it is not surprising that you guys have decided there's differences in gradations of.
No, here's what I'm on.
Robert, hold on a second. Don't put words in my mouth.
No,
you asked me, and I told you I'm not defending Mitt Romney's ad.
Is it untrue? Hold on, but let's play this out. Is the ad untrue?
Do you know what I'm going to do today?
Untrue?
I'm going to actually check.
Is there any truth to the charge that we are getting rid of work as a requirement for welfare pay?
No, we're not. Don't play the ad yet. I'm going to look at the ad. We haven't played the ad this morning. We haven't commented on the ad this morning.
Roll the ad.
Commented the ad. Well, you want to listen? You want to play an ad that you say is a lie? Why would you want to do that?
Because I think, as a great journalist in this country and somebody that I deeply admire and
you
love,
me, don't you?
And I think it would be interesting for the former Republican Party chair to say that an ad that a campaign directly has control over
is airing
is factually wrong, substantially and factually wrong. Let's be honest here. We've watched this pattern from the Romney campaign. This weekend, they put out a statement that somehow Barack Obama wanted to prevent the military members from voting in Ohio. Reporters all over the country and reporters all over Ohio asked the Romney campaign, can you point to one thing in a lawsuit that seeks to add extra early voting for everybody that's not in the military? Can you point to one thing in the lawsuit that demonstrates that the Obama campaign would like to restrict military members from voting? And the answer was
Can I guess what the answer was?
The answer is no.
No. That's my guess. Mark Alfred. Do you have a question?
Robert, just as a general matter, because I know you don't control the content of the Super PAC ads from the campaign, if they do something that you consider over the line, will you call them on it? Or is your posture, we don't have any control, we don't comment on what they do?
No, Mark, look, I think people will decide whether or not it's factual. Fact checkers will decide
I'm asking a specific thing.
I'm telling you, if the ad's not true, Mark, then, one, it's not going to be effective. And if there's an ad that's not true, it shouldn't be running.
Right. So if you see something they do, you consider over the line, you will call them on it publicly.
Well, look, I'm not going to make some broad policy on that, Mark. One thing I'm not going to do is get involved in super PACs and decide that I need some lawyer to explain to me coordination.